So y'all, my phone broke. This is my backup phone.
External defibrillator AED device. If you find your resident cannot respond, and upon checking for a pulse, you find the resident
On
has
your
no
way.
pulse
No, you're
and
good.
is
Oh,
not
okay.
breathing, you will immediately call 911 and follow the instructions of the 911 operator. You also need to call another.
I was like, who is shooting? All right. Sequences the following steps to follow. That was close.
Good
Hey,
morning.
what's up? Can I be in here? I was
Yeah,
saying, dang, I just got kicked out of the
Sit there, slide.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not so good.
Okay.
And you can actually stay on that one because
I ain't gonna get kicked out of here, am I?
no. Look at this place around here.
Hey, I got moved to a different room. I don't know. They might catch me. Yeah. See, I ain't expect nobody to come in here. Well, I started a new job. Second day. I'm just guessing. What's up, Stacy? You're already gone. What's up, Stacy? Jay Wheeler 5. Hi. Hi. Sorry, I just now seen that. Y'all don't give me fire. If I can hide this camera. I'm low-key kind of cheating. All right, they about to force me to watch this one, so let's watch it together. Let me see.
This course presents our company guidelines for identifying, reducing, and managing falls and fall risk for our residents. It is all of our responsibility to protect our residents from falls and ensure the well-being of seniors at Brookdale Senior Living. Each year, millions of older people, those 65 and older, fall. In fact, more than 1 out of 4 older people fall each year, but less than half tell their doctor. Falling once doubles your chances of falling again. To learn about falls management, we should first understand the Brookdale definition of the term fall. A fall refers to unintentionally coming to rest on the ground, floor, or other lower level, either witnessed or unwitnessed, with or without injury. Therefore, falls management is an important topic for all associates and a key topic in senior care. Brookdale has a falls program in place to help minimize our residents' risk for falls and outlines what to do if a resident has fallen. Let's discuss the steps and processes that are part of this falls program. This process begins prior to our residents moving in. Prior to move-in, we gather information to determine the residents' fall risk in our community. All residents are at risk for falls. However, the falls program evaluates each resident's individual risks and takes into consideration numerous factors, including, but not limited to, a resident's history of falls, gait, and balance issues, failing vision, neurological impairments, postural hypotension, problems with feet and or footwear, and medications associated with falls. In addition, certain medications may create a fall risk as a result of potential side effects, including but not limited to imbalance, drowsiness, lower blood sugar, and lower blood pressure. The nurse collects this data and documents it in the fall risk evaluation form in Point-Click Care prior to their move-in. The next part of the process is to create a plan specifically tailored to the resident. This tailored plan will include universal fall precautions, as well as individualized fall precautions. Universal fall precautions that should be in place for all residents include, but are not limited to, keeping resident floors uncluttered, as you can see pictured here, keeping walkways and common areas well lit, encouraging the appropriate use of assistive devices, encouraging residents to wear well-fitting, non-slip footwear, discouraging throw rugs, and keeping floor surfaces clean and dry. In addition to the universal fall precautions that should be in place for all residents, personalized fall interventions should be put into place to meet the specific needs of each resident. These specific needs are determined through the resident's initial fall risk evaluation and should be in place prior to move-in. An example of a personalized fall intervention for Mrs. Delgado would be, Mrs. Delgado feeds her cat every morning. At home, she fell by leaning over to feed the cat. Her cat's bowl and food should remain on her side table and off the floor. Associates to assist. Another example is, Mr. Jones is a resident in a memory care community. He gets the newspaper every morning and often leaves it spread out on his sofa. When he goes to sit on his sofa, he does not move the newspaper, but will sit on the edge. At home, he had 2 falls from this habit. When assisting Mr. Jones with morning time dressing and grooming, associates should assist him with clearing the newspaper from his sofa. Fall interventions should be put in place prior to the resident moving in and communicated with all care associates. It is critical that interventions are documented in the resident's care plan and that all clinical associates are familiar with them. To assist with implementing universal fall precautions, we have a couple tools available to help. As soon as a resident moves in, the HWD will delegate the room safety checklist to an associate to complete. This helps identify universal fall risks, so they can be immediately addressed. The call, don't fall posters are also an available tool to place in strategic areas of a particular high risk for falls resident. For example, in their bathroom. These fall interventions are documented in the care plan for
They don't work. If you put a sign that tell an old person not to fall, they're going to fall.
each resident. At Brookdale, it is called the Personalized Service Plan, or commonly referred to as the PSP. This care plan is the primary way we document and communicate fall interventions prior to move in and after each fall. It should be a combination of universal fall precautions and personalized fall precautions. Each new fall should be documented and an appropriate intervention put in place per fall. When the Health and Wellness Director documents a new fall or new fall intervention into the comment section, this information is pulled over into the care profile where all clinical associates should have easy access to review. In communities with Health Plus, please ask your Health and Wellness Director or district nurse for slight differences in the process. Since falls can occur anywhere in the community, fall precautions need to be taken outside the resident's apartment as well. All associates have a responsibility to identify potential fall hazards. The resource guide here is available for training associates to take a proactive approach. Our expectation is that if you see a hazard, don't assume anyone else notices the issue. If you notice it, it's your responsibility to notify the right person or take care of the issue. You can prevent a fall by doing this. Some potential hazards to address are sticky or slippery floors, significant clutter on the floor of a resident's apartment, oxygen tubes or electrical cords strewn about a resident's apartment, misplaced tiles or carpet rips or tears, unapproved bedside mobility devices and or side rails on a resident's bed, any resident's assistive device that is broken. A critical aspect to a Quality Falls program is the role of a Falls Champion. The Falls Champion is an associate within the
If y'all ever want to be a
community that is
CNA,
assigned by the Health and Wellness Director and the Executive
here's
Director
y'all
who is
pre-training.
passionate about minimizing resident falls and who possesses strong communication skills. This leadership role is not specific to a job title or job role. It could be the Health and Wellness Director themselves, a Health and Wellness Coordinator, a Resident Care Coordinator, a Lead CNA, or a Clare Bridge Program Coordinator. The Falls Champion helps drive the success and compliance of the Brookdale Falls program. Some of the tasks that can be delegated to the Falls Champion include communicating with all other associates that a resident fall has occurred, communicate new interventions, follow up to ensure the interventions established are in place, assist with training, and keeping the fall response kit fully stocked. These responsibilities will be discussed in greater detail as we continue. Sometimes at move-in or after, families bring in side rails or other equipment to attach to the resident's bed that they believe may be helpful in preventing falls. Due to entrapment risks, Brookdale prohibits the use of side rails of any length. If you notice a side rail, report it to your Executive Director or Maintenance Director immediately for removal. Certain bedside mobility devices are approved for assistance with transfers. They are not used to prevent falls. Remember, Brookdale approved bedside mobility devices require a doctor's order. Another element in our falls program is our night check policy. This policy states that resident care associates should make night checks on each resident approximately every 4 to 6 hours or as determined by the resident's needs as documented in the care plan. When performing a night check, associates should open the door to the resident's apartment quietly and observe the resident from a reasonable distance. Assistance should be provided as necessary. A resident or his/her legally responsible party may choose not to have associates perform night checks. The choice not to receive night checks should be documented in a negotiated risk agreement, where permitted by state regulation, and on the resident's service plan. However, for residents who have signed this negotiated risk agreement, associates should still stop outside the door to the apartment and listen briefly outside the closed door for any unusual sounds. If any unusual sounds are heard, the apartment should be entered and the resident checked. This should be documented in point of the care, PCC, progress notes, the reason the room was entered, and the outcome. Another aspect of our falls program is for the meal check checklist to be used every meal, every day. Its purpose is to check on residents that are not in attendance and determine why. Are they ill? Do they feel weak that day and need an escort? Have they fallen in their apartment and need assistance? We should not assume a resident is out of
I'm falling and
check
can't
on
get
each
up.
resident not in attendance. In our Health Plus communities, meal attendance is tracked through the use of the companion device. Our Health and Wellness Director and Executive Directors will jointly have regular care conferences with residents and their families. This is is a great time to discuss personalized fall interventions, changes in a resident's condition, and fall concerns. Care conferences should be scheduled according to your state regulations for assessment requirements quarterly or every 6 months, and when a resident has had a change in condition. There is another routinely scheduled meeting that meets monthly called a collaborative care review. At this meeting, led by the executive director, the department leaders come together and address any new resident concerns or potential fall risks they see. This approach allows for a fuller picture of what is going on with each resident and allows for more immediate interventions before a fall occurs. This is also a space where new fall interventions are communicated to the rest of the departments. For example, if Mrs. Green now needs a walker, the dining team should be aware of this change and encourage Mrs. Green to consistently use her walker when they see her. However, if there is a change in a resident's needs or mobility, the identification and communication of those to the Health and Wellness Director should not be delayed until a care conference or the collaborative care review. Changes in condition need to be addressed promptly in collaboration with the resident's healthcare provider. Even with strategies and interventions in place, a resident may still fall. If a resident is found on the floor, an associate needs to stay with the resident at their level and call for assistance from another associate. An associate brings the community fall response kit to the resident's apartment. This kit should include a vital signs kit, a falls checklist, blank draft bearers form, post-fall evaluation forms, the head injury flow sheet, an unused gait belt, and simple wound care supplies including gloves. The documents can be printed from BSL. Included in the fall response kit should be the fall checklist. This checklist should be used to assist with physical evaluation of the resident prior to moving the resident off the floor. This can be used by any clinical associate if a nurse is unavailable. Some of the elements of the falls checklist include getting to the resident's eye level and making them feel comfortable. It can be embarrassing or scary if you've fallen. Asking the resident if they are in pain. Noticing any physical deformities, skin tears, bruises, or bleeding, and the resident's level of consciousness. Noticing if they are able to move their extremities according to their baseline. Paying attention to any potential signs of head injury. Reference the head injury flow sheet to determine if a resident needs to be evaluated externally for a head injury. This flow sheet should be kept in the fall response kit with this checklist. In states where allowed, it is imperative vital signs are taken, and following the prompts for when to call 911. After the resident has been assisted, it is important that post-fall documentation is completed. The first person on the scene needs to complete 2 forms. The first part of the post-fall evaluation form, shown here on the left side, and the preliminary draft notes for a reported incident, bears form, shown here on the right side. If the paper version of the post-fall evaluation form is completed, the HWD nurse or designated med tech needs to transcribe this into the resident's medical record in point-click care. In PCC, this is referred to as the initial post-fall evaluation form. This will auto-generate the initial fall progress note. If the fall results in a state reportable event, send appropriate documentation to the state timely. After a fall, the Health and Wellness Director needs to complete the second part of the post-fall evaluation form, called the follow-up analysis, in point-click care. This prompts a deeper analysis into the fall in order to identify appropriate interventions. These interventions should be documented in the personal service plan and communicated to all clinical associates and at morning stand-up meetings. Any resident falls and any interventions put in place need to be added to the shift report to communicate with the following shifts, shown here on the right. Again, these can be communicated through the care profile as well. It is also critical that we continue to evaluate a resident for 3 days after a fall. Even if you're not the one documenting, all clinical associates should pay attention to residents after a fall for 3 days to observe for changes in pain or their skin and to obtain vital signs as permitted by state regulations. To document these check-ins, we use the fall alert note in point-click care at least daily for 3 days post-fall. This can be completed by a nurse, or in some states it can be delegated to the med tech. Let us discuss some of the resources available to you. The Fall Resource Guide houses all the documents and processes we just reviewed. This can be found by searching BSL with Fall. evaluate the success of the implemented fall interventions. One tool for clinical associates with access to Tableau is the Quality Metrics Scorecard. This can be used to track fall trends month over month. The Health and Wellness Director, or Falls Champion, should keep all clinical associates aware of trends and progress. It's critical all clinical associates remain vigilant in understanding the fall interventions that are in place and to communicate any changes in the resident's conditions that might necessitate new interventions. In our training today, you have heard about what to do for falls management from the time the resident enters the community and throughout their time in the community. Remember, please be sure to ask your supervisor any questions you have about the topics covered. Click the exit button to mark the course complete and
Oh, I think I got three more. I got three more, but they're all an hour.
What is that big great thing out there? 3 days in a row. Yeah.
That's what I'm just saying.
summer.